Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the Soviet and Chinese T-26. They have some slight differences but will overall be played the same. We'll start off with a brief overview, then how to use it, then some pros and cons of the vehicle. Introduced during the closed beta test for ground forces, before update 1.4, 1, the T-26 is a small vehicle with thin armor but a heavy-hitting 45mm cannon that can devastate most enemies at its battle rating thanks to its APHE ammunition, with enough penetration and explosive filler to one-shot most opponents. It has very poor armor like most light tanks, but it also has very poor mobility, being outmatched by tanks like the Panzer II and all BT models. It also suffers from the poor gun depression that characterizes all Soviet tanks. The armor of the T-26 is thin, thus making the vehicle's survivability low. Armor is nearly flat on all sides, so it is recommended to not expose yourself to enemy fire. The crew members are not lined up behind each other from the front, meaning that enemies using AP solid shots may have to take up to 2, 3 shots before knocking out all of your crew. Beware of heavy machine guns and autocannons, since they will be able to both penetrate your armor and shred your crew/modules. While being a light tank, its mobility is one of a medium/heavy tank. The top speed is very low for a light tank, combined with the low power to weight ratio given by its weak engine. The T-26 has poor acceleration and speed on most surfaces. It can reach around 30 km per hour only on hard, flat surface after a long, uninterrupted acceleration period. With even a small turn, the speed will drop significantly. The narrow tracks significantly reduce its off-road mobility in muddy, sandy or snowy maps, despite the tracks being short and far apart. The T-26 still has slow hull traverse and often needs a forward-backward jerk to start turning properly. Reverse speed is also very poor, which cannot save you from most bad situations. The APHE round has a good amount of high explosive filler, meaning penetrating shells will do good damage, sometimes even taking out enemies with a single shot. At longer ranges, shells begin to lose penetration and accuracy. It is not made for sniping. It is recommended to play the T-26 in a support role, flanking the battlefield, and finding a good position to support your teammates from. The 45mm cannon has very good characteristics, with its rounds being able to deal a fair amount of damage to enemy vehicles from both short and long range. The fast reload allows for quick adjustment of aim between shots, meaning the T-26 can be a highly effective flanking vehicle if a good camping spot is found. The limited gun depression, however, will affect which positions are usable. Keeping back at long range is certainly an effective way to avoid taking damage. The T-26 can also be used for brawling with enemy vehicles, but it should be kept in mind that the thin armor on the T-26 will leave the vital modules of your vehicle, such as your crew, gun, and power plant, at risk of taking damage. The mobility of the T-26 is also poorer than many of its counterparts, which could potentially put it at risk in a brawling scenario. On the other hand, the T-26's short reload time will usually give it an upper hand if you can survive the first shot. Due to the top speed of the T-26 being slower than many other vehicles at its BR, it will usually arrive in the battlefield after the fighting has already begun. This can be an advantage in that you arrive after your team has already identified many targets. This also means that you will most likely not be on the front line of attack, will usually allows for you to last a bit longer than players who rush the center of the battlefield. On the other hand, it is also less likely that you will reach capture points before they are captured by your teammates, who will be faster than you. The lack of armor is really something to be kept in mind. Even some tank machine guns like the 50 caliber will be able to go through your thickest plates of armor. Because of this, it is recommended to try your best to avoid enemy vehicles getting the first shot. Driving undercover is advisable to avoid being spotted dot. In terms of the T-26's gun, there are 2 round options. It is also worth keeping in mind that the T-26 only has a reverse speed of 3 kilometers per hour. This is important to remember when driving into potential enemy fire. It is recommended to be aware of enemy positions and cover, as a retreat will be a lot slower than an advance. Be aware that enemy aircraft with bombs or powerful guns can easily take out the T-26. It is advised to stick to the tree line to avoid being spotted and attacked. The T-26 has little anti-aircraft capabilities. Pros: great firepower, can take out almost any tank with a single shot. Very short reload time. Fairly accurate gun at short to medium ranges. Massive ammo capacity and fast reload time, which is good for new players learning how to maneuver and fire. Cons: low survivability due to the thin, nearly unsloped armor. The crew members are packed tightly together, significantly reducing survivability. Poor overall mobility. Low top speed, very slow reverse speed, slow hull traverse, and difficulty in climbing steep slope. Average -5 degrees. Gun depression limits its potential in hilly terrains. Some ammo is stored inside turret, which tends to explode when hit. This has been an overview of the T-26. Please like and sub, and I'll see you in the next video.